Boom goes the dynamite.
All right, Jesse, welcome to the Extreme Agents VIP coaching call.
Welcome. What's up, Steve? What's up, everybody?
Watch, man. How you doing?
Oh, may the fourth be with you. That's,
Thank you.
Right. We're excited today because you ever heard the motto, you win or you learn, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
That's right. There's no losing. There's only winning or learning.
Yeah. And so when I don't think a lot of people are afraid of failing because they think failure is like final. It's like, hey, I messed up. I'm not going to try that again, rather than like, hey, what did I learn from it? So we've made tons of mistakes. We are the people to follow. If you want to make less mistakes, follow what we're saying, because we made the mistakes and we learned something from them. So let's talk about some of those mistakes. We're going to go over 5 mistakes and lessons that agents need to fix. And these are ongoing. We've done these, and I would say a lot of agents still do these things as well.
Yeah.
So let's jump in. So one of those is allowing negativity to dominate your mind. Why is that a mistake?
Multiple reasons. If you're focusing on the negative, you're going to get more negative. If you're focusing on the positive, you're going to get more positive. And it's a big mistake to be negative about the market, to be negative about the amount of business you have, because especially in this business, because the market fluctuates. The deal cycle can take a long time. Deals are going to fall apart. You're going to get, several deals going at one time. You're going to get, weeks at a time when you don't get new deals. So it's not always that consistent. It's always important to keep your mindset positive.
Yeah. And I think it interferes with your performance. So you don't think you think the best people in any field are constantly depressed and talking about how rotten and horrible work is, and everything they do is just nothing's good, and the customer's bad, the client's bad, the vendors are bad, the blah 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 blah. No, they don't, because they don't have time to do that. They're trying to produce. So it's a big mistake to allow those things. Now, I've done it. I've sat on the curb. In fact, when I used to do door-to-door sales, I remember, like, when I first got started, I had some bad days. Like, man, nobody bought. And I was trying to talk to 100 people a day. I did commercial door-to-door sales, literally walking down like the streets of Oakland, going business to business. And I did it in residential areas. And I remember, like, there was days where nobody bought. And I would go sit on the curb and just be like, man, this is like the worst. Why am I doing this? And I just like started feeding myself all these thoughts, and it just got worse and worse. And all of a sudden I saw this other guy. He's over there sitting on the curb smoking a cigarette, and I didn't sell nothing either. And you just start feeding off negativity, and just starts producing more negativity. And pretty soon you're just like, I'm quitting, right? And that's why agents quit.
Got to take the good with the bad. And the most important thing is to move on when something negative happens, or if I find myself getting stuck into a negative state of mind, best thing for me is just to focus on what I have, be appreciative for what I have, and, do something to get out of that negative mindset, whether it's go exercise, whether it's read something motivational or positive, or whether it's just, turning off the John Wayne Gacy special on Netflix because it's negative, watching something more positive, whatever it is.
So some of the lessons of this is that we learned, hey, mind over matter, right? If you don't mind, it doesn't matter, right? Like, I don't mind getting 20 people to tell me no. I don't mind 10 people saying, hang up. I had somebody tell me, go get cancer and die. Literally, that was a prospect response to me. I hope you get cancer and die. Now, I don't care what they said. I don't know that person. I'm never going to see them. They're not going to be at my funeral, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So adopt that mindset. Here's another thing is that you get a vote. Steve, do you remember when we were taught about the second thought? Like, you have thought X, which maybe it's bad, it's negative. And we learned this from Mr. Ferry, who he was living in this beautiful home on the coast of Florida, and these militant, like, stealth robbers broke into his house from a rubber raft, came through the ocean, busted in his house, held him and his wife at gunpoint, tied them up. And he said, the first thought I had was like, okay, this is over. We're going to die. But then a few minutes later, I mean, they broke his arm and wrist. It was bad. But he said, my second thought was, no, we got to fight. We got to win. We have to survive. Like he controlled the second thought. Like the first thought was really bad. And he said, you know what? My next thought is going to be why. It's going to be that. It's going to be a better thought. I'm going to be like, no, we're going to get through this, Sabrina. And he told his wife, and they survived it. The second thought, you get to choose.
Yeah, we often tend to go to the first thought as a negative thought or a protective thought, but we have the choice to control what the next thought is in our mind. And if that's a positive thought, you're going to have a more positive outcome.
Yeah. And why do we talk about this every week? Because this is true and it works and it matters. Like if you start feeding yourself the right things, you're going to be dwelling on the right things, and that's going to produce actions. The right actions going to produce the right results and outcomes in your life. So we're never going to stop talking about this. And so we are trying to help everybody learn from these lessons and mistakes that we've made about our mindset as well. Okay, Steve, what's up with people? Have you ever like neglected practicing and working on your sales skills and your scripts?
Sure. It's one of the things that I learned through the coaching and years of experience is, you always can be learning and practicing your skills in this business. The way that we practice our skills is to practice role playing the scripts with another agent. We can practice rehearsing our listing presentation with another agent. We could do it in front of the mirror. We can record ourselves doing it. And, the more that I've done this over the years, the more I learn. You can role play a certain script 30 days in a row with somebody, and then you switch role play partners, on the next month, and you realize that you learn completely different ways to handle objections and a completely different way to present the script. And that could be all the difference between, you getting 1 or 2 appointments a week or getting 5 or 6 appointments a week. So, just like professional athletes practice their skills, they practice, several times a week or every day, just like a doctor is always going to practice and get, new information on his procedures and so forth. It's always good to be at your best. And, if you want to improve, that's the way to do it in this business.
So I shouldn't go wing it and just guess what I should say off the top of my head.
Yeah. And you shouldn't just look at it one time and think you're going to know it. It's better to practice it. Yeah.
Your bronze level skills are not going to win gold medals, folks. It's just the reality. If you're under practicing, you're going to underperform. So another mistake is just resting on your laurels, thinking, man, like you just said, Steve, that was excellent. Like practicing 1 month. Okay, I'm good. I got this. Well, have you tried it with a different personality? Have you tried it with a different script? Have you tried it with different objections? Have you tried it? Like, don't get comfortable. Don't get lazy. I've been there. I've been like, I already practiced that script. And then sure enough, someone hits me with their objection. I'm like, oh, what do I say? Right.
Pushkar, is it just me or is the sound going lower on Jesse's end? It could be my computer.
I can turn up my volume too.
It's like you faded away.
I hear it fine.
Okay, must be my computer.
Seems fine to me.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Okay, cool. No, practice your face off. We've hit on that. There's a lot. This is another thing too that I think about often is that consumers have options. There's a lot of agents. I think there's like 2 million agents in the United States. I'm not sure if it's 1 million or 2 million. There's a lot. And you have to compete at a high level to win their favor and win their attention and to be that choice agent. They're looking for somebody that's good. They're looking for the best. So you have to practice to get that. You have to work on your skills to be that person. One of my friends here in this market, he's sold, millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in volume. And he's like, you know what? I want to improve my this or that. He's still thinking, how can I get better? Even though he's dominates his market. still thinking like, wait, what can I do to get better? I was literally talking to him. I was like, wow, he's not comfortable. He's not settling. So Steve, you're doing that, right? Are you still looking for upping your potential?
Absolutely, Jesse. Yes, we can always, if you're standing still, you're moving backwards. If you want to improve, you're going to have to find new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, and improve on those skills and improve on your systems. And there's always, because if you're not doing it, there's other agents out there that are taking more of a share of the market. So you gotta adapt, and you have to improve. You gotta work at it.
Bam. Never stop prospecting. That's a mistake. Definitely. So why is that a mistake, Steve?
Well, if you stop prospecting, you're going to run out of business. You're going to run out of deals. You got to keep the pipeline full.
Keep the pipeline full. That's what this is, right? These are opportunities, and stopping, neglecting to call and talk to more people just is robbing you of those opportunities. You're throwing them away, and someone else is going to talk to them. Guess what? In my market, Steve, in your market, there's a handful of people that are going to call the expireds. And who's the one that's going to get them?
The one that usually talks to them first, or the one that is most prepared, or the one that is consistent about it.
So if I take the day off, I'm probably not going to get that lead.
That's correct.
That's
consistency is the key. If you're prospecting, you have to be consistent about it, because if you take a day or two off, especially if you're calling expired, canceled, or FSBO, you're going to miss out on opportunities 100% of those days. And if you're not consistently following up with the people you've talked to in your database or any other lead source, you're also going to get behind, and then you're going to be reacting in a catch-up mode, and you're not going to be as effective. It's going to be like fear-based at that point. I need more business. I need more business. And people can sense that.
Commission breath.
Yeah.
When I remember, Steve, when I first got started, my business partner laughed at me because I think I'd practiced and role played and done some prospecting for a couple of months. And I was like already on Google, like, hey, can I hire a cold calling team? I hadn't even learned the scripts, and I'm over here looking for an easy button, it's okay to say, I've done that. I know you guys have done this. You're looking for the shiny object, the easy way out, so that you don't have to prospect. There's a time for that. And Steve can testify to that. There's a time when that you should be doing that, and you can do that. But if you don't know how to talk to people, you haven't learned any scripts, you haven't practiced closing and handle objections, it's probably not the time to start looking for the easy button. You should look for the easy button once you've already mastered it a little bit,
Absolutely.
So you
can't teach what you don't already know how to do.
That's good. And that's a tweetable right there. That's a tweetable, y'all. It's also kind of like I wrote down here, you lose your muscle, right? If you, I don't know a lot about building muscles because I'm kind of flabby, but I'll tell you what, I know if you stop working out, Steve's going to lose.
Yeah, it's just like that. If you stop working out, you're going to lose what you gained. You're going to get weaker. It's the same thing. I mean, if you stop doing the consistent prospect, and you stop improving your skills, you stop learning the new techniques, you're going to fade away is what happens.
Into no commission land. Not a good place to be.
Yeah.
So that's the lessons, y'all. More leads, more appointments, more contracts, more commissions. Let's keep doing it. So this kind of almost the theme that we've talked about in these several of these last mistakes is really complacency. I've already prospected, so I'm good now. Or I already had some leads, I'm good now. I got a listing, I'm okay. I got a deal in escrow. And again, raise your hand. It's okay to say, hey, I already spent all the money that I had planned for that closing. Right? Or you just got paid and like, but I'm good. I don't need a prospect. I just got a $5,000 check. I just got a $10,000 check. I'm chill. That's a mistake, right?
It is. Yes, because we're in a 90-day cycle here in real estate, and you can get, that's why That's why we always preach, and that's what we learn. It's very important to time block and track and be consistent about your prospecting. Even if you're just doing it for an hour a day, it's extremely important to do it every day for an hour. And it's easier to do it if you have it time blocked and you get it done first thing. If you don't get it done first thing, at least you have it time blocked and you're tracking and you know you're going to get it done. And you follow through with that consistently, because even if you have the hardest, one of the things that most agents struggle with, that I've talked to a lot of agents that can't get over the 30, 40 deal a year mark. And the reason is they say they get too busy. Well, what happens is they get this time of year, they'll get 4, 5, 6, 10 deals under contract, and they find themselves getting off track with their prospecting habits, their schedule, because they're running around trying to do all these other things and get these deals closed. At the end of the day, they really don't need to do a lot of that stuff, but they could do all that stuff and they could still prospect. But when you have money coming in and you say to yourself, well, I got a bunch of deals in the pipeline, I don't have to worry about it. That's when you have to take a reality check and get real with yourself, because if you stop the consistent prospecting, 90 days later, you're not going to have business. You're not going to have deals. So consistency is the key to that.
Yeah, that's 100, yo. I wrote down complacency leads to like accidents and disasters. You guys know that most of the time when there's a major data breach, like Experian, it's not because some computer glitch. They try to blame it on that kind of stuff, but usually it's some human error. Somebody got lazy and they didn't follow the checklist that night, or there's a major workplace injury. It's because someone didn't follow their safety protocol, right? When agents are going broke, it's probably because they're just being complacent. It's leading to a major disaster of not following your routine and your process. So fight this with all you got. One of the things our coaches have taught us and that we recommend is to get out of your comfort zone and maybe expand what you're exposed to. And we've talked about this before in some other calls where it's like, maybe subscribe to a Rob report, or go watch a few videos on the rich and the famous, and just kind of see, wow, I could actually level up a little bit. Not that you have to like drive the fastest and the nicest car, but maybe you should expose yourself to some other bigger ideas. And so
go tour a couple of houses that are out of your price range, that if you did an extra 10 or 15 deals during the year, you could afford, and just see how that feels and see how people at the next level of income live, and what's possible, what's out there. And it may get you motivated to take that path if that's what you want.
Yeah. Some of my favorite dreams and things and memories that I've already created in my life have been those times that extra commission, that extra $10,000 helped me take my parents to a all expense paid trip to Alaska, and blew their mind, right? They'd never been out of the country. They'd never seen, Canada and all the rural, raw nature of Alaska. Blew their mind. They still to this day cry when they're like, oh, that was so sweet, And I love that experience, sharing that with them, seeing them like little kids and go, on these tours and adventures and stuff. It's like, man, but that was because I can't keep complacent. I got to think bigger. I got to stretch. So, bam. Okay. All right. I think this is number 5. Growing and nurturing your database like it's gold. I love that, Steve. I don't know how you came up with that. That's a masterpiece of a sentence right there. Growing and nurturing your database like it's gold. Well, what does that mean?
Well, your database is a gold mine. So a majority of your business throughout your career is going to come from your database, which is people you've done business with before, people that you interact with in your daily life, people that that like you, that you like them, and you have constant and frequent interaction with. So you have to make sure that you take care of it just like it's your child. The value of it is immeasurable. And that means that you need to reach out to those people. You need to ask for referrals. You need to make sure that you're doing everything you can as far as customer service to help them with anything they might need. You don't just want to do the deal and disappear. for 5 years and then, ask them for business when you're desperate. You gotta, send them a Christmas card, send them something in the mail, 2-3 times a year, a thank you letter. You just want to keep in front of them as much as you can. Use social media, reach out to them, do a post on Facebook. I've seen agents that will actually, like I know Dow did this. I don't know if he's done it in a while, but he would reach out to everybody in his database on their birthday with a video and wish them happy birthday. Hey, Steve, I just wanted to say hello and wish you a very happy birthday. I hope you have a great rest of the year, whatever. And then send that video, and it's very personalized, and it really makes you feel good. So, there's a lot of ideas out there. Just keep it simple and consistent.
Bam.
And ask for referrals.
People will send you referrals.
Absolutely.
But they won't, well, very, 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 very few will send them if you don't ask them, because they forget and they're busy and they're not thinking about real estate all day. You are. So ask them. And really, I've said this before. I'll keep saying it. Companies buy companies, usually not even for the technology. Mostly it's not for the technology or anything. It's for like the systems and the business asset of their customer base. Right? That's why they want to acquire them. Like, man, that's another revenue source from X amount of consumers or customers that they have. So it's a gold mine. When Steve says it's gold, it's gold, y'all. It's gold.
Yeah, don't feel like reaching out to them that it's a waste of time, because I have reached out. I've followed up with my database over the years, and some people I don't talk to, but I either text or email or call them 3-4 times a year, and then 4 or 5 years later, I'll get a referral from them, not even having talked to them face to face or even verbally on the phone or gotten a response, but I'll get a referral. And it just amazes me that, as long as you're staying in front of them and letting them know you're in the real estate business still, that's 90% of the battle right there. That's probably 99% of it.
It can be partially automated. And this brings up the thing about KV Core. Like,
yeah,
you guys, people think, oh, I didn't get a call when I sent that newsletter out, and they think it didn't do anything. I just want to squash that, because that's a lie. It's not true. Because they didn't call you immediately or send you a referral that day or that week does not mean that newsletter did not do anything for your business. It's called branding. It's called top of mind. It's called first position. Who is the person that they think of when they think of a real estate agent? It's probably the person that stays in touch with them and that keeps asking them for referrals and keeps sharing market information with them. So do not buy into the lie that, oh, nobody sent me a referral or called me to list their home when I sent the newsletter last time, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Don't do that. Steve is sending these newsletters. He just sent this one last month, April. And guess what? There's hundreds of people that opened that and be like, oh, okay, this is what's going on in the Northern Illinois market. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. Next month, they lose their job. They have to move out of state. They get a job relocation. Who are they calling? The guy that's talking to them, the guy that's communicating with them. So do it. Do it. Import them into KV Core. Send them a newsletter. Send them a market report. Send them a home evaluation. Send them a property alert. You can mass message people all at the same time.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. So if you're in KV Core and you're saying to yourself, well, I don't do a newsletter, and I hired somebody to do the newsletter for me and send it out, and those are leads for the team. But I would do this. I would just go in there and do a bulk email once every quarter to my database in KV Core. That's the best way to do it. So show us how to do that real quick, Jesse.
So go into marketing. Go to marketing. You come right here to schedule mass email. That's it. That's one way to do it. Go to marketing, schedule mass email. There's a whole process it'll show you. Or you can come over here to Smart CRM and click on all the contacts. Okay. It's going to load people in here. Then you can like filter people if you want to. If you're like, hey, I just want to go through and click on them individually. My internet connection must be pooping out on me. But like, you can start coming in here and clicking. Hey, I'm going to click on this person. And then you click on mass text or mass email up here at the top. You can click on as many as you want. Click on all of them, and then you send one email, and all of them get the same email. So I could come in here.
There it is.
I can choose a template. I could be like, here's some what's going on. It even fills in all of their names personalized for them. See, I did that in like 10 seconds. I can send an email out to hundreds of people. So nobody's got an excuse, y'all. Your database, tap into that bad boy. So those are mistakes, and those are lessons we learned. In fact, leave a comment below. What is the takeaway? What's the lesson that hit home with you the most? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear what are your takeaways? What are your lessons you're learning? What is maybe one of your big mistakes that you learned and you overcame or you're working on? We'd love to hear about it.
Love to hear about it.
Boom.